Yo, what's up, guys? Old School Dan here. Welcome back. I'm actually feeling a little bit better. Thank God, it's like a miracle. I feel twice as good. All right, so we're on the part 8 of how to build the classic physique. In this video, we're going to talk about some classic legs, how to build those chiseled, deep cut legs like Frank Zane. We're going to go over some models, a little bit of anatomy like we always do. Then we're going to go over some exercises to build those really classic looking legs. Not super overdeveloped, but very aesthetic looking legs. All right, let us get started. All right, so now I'm gonna go over some quick anatomy. I'm only gonna give you the ones that Vince said to really work on. He was really interested in the sartorius, which is the it is the kind of like top part of the quad right there. It's like the inside of the quad almost. And the rectus femoris, which is the deep cuts right there in the leg. It almost looks like the line coming down. And then we also have the vastus lateralis, which is the where is that part? Where's the vastus lateralis? Which is the outer part of the quad. Those are the parts that he really highly recommends to work out. And obviously the hamstring. I mean, yeah, work out all types, all parts of the hamstring, which is the biceps femoris and the cemented denosis. Is that how you say that? Is that how you say it? Anyways, yeah, work out all parts of the hamstrings. All right, cool. Now that we got over some anatomy, because that's kind of the boring stuff, we're gonna move over to the stuff that I really want to talk about, which is the models and why I picked these guys. Cool. So let us move on. Number one, we have Steve Reeves on the left. I always pick this guy because this guy is literally the epitome of classic physique. Like I have to put him in every slide. And then we have Vince Gironda in the middle, and then we also have Serge Nubret, that is Franco Colombo in the middle, and Arnold Schwarzenegger on the right. Now, let's start with Steve Reeves. Steve Reeves was a big fan of the hack squat and the what was it? The front squat, the hack squat and the front squat. I think they actually invented the hack squat for Steve Reeves. He did it the old. I don't know if they invented it for him, but I think they invented a platform for him to do the hack squat on. I think so. He never did back squats. Like I mean, that's kind of like why he had no ass. I mean, not that I'm very certain of my sexuality, so I can be like, oh, I checked out Steve Reeves. But anyways, yeah, Steve Reeves never did back squats. If anything, he did them pretty rarely, but he does include them in one of his routines. But what I read that he never did back squats. He mainly did a lot of hack squats, and he mainly did a lot of front squats. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Vince Gironda. Now, Vince Gironda right here in the middle, you can see that he has highly developed legs. He has that impart. He has separation in his leg entirely. That's why he highly recommends working out those parts I mentioned earlier, which is the sartorius and the vastus lateralis and the rectus femoris to give you that all around like lines right there. And then we also have the three guys on the right, Serge, Franco, and Arnold, and you can see that it's all very reminiscent. They all have very striated legs, like very ripped legs, deep cuts. I mean, not super overdeveloped legs, and also you can see that their quad matches with their calves, and that's what if you achieve that, if you have your quad and your calves match with each other, then that's what gives you that classic physique. As you can notice, as you can see that their quads and their calves make their knees look small. That is the illusion right there. I have a picture on my Instagram where I took a picture. I think it's my of just like me flexing my leg and my calf sort of, and I put it in a certain position, and my knee looks small. That is the classic physique. That is the classic physique illusion right there. You have to make your joints look small. That is what gives you the illusion that oh, this guy is bigger than he actually looks. So yeah. All right. So one of Vince Gironda's students, Don Hallworth, the Duke of Delts. You should probably look him up. He's a pretty. I think I made a video. I actually put him in the video. Was it maybe 2 videos ago in the shoulder presentation? But all Don what did for legs was hack squat, leg extensions, and leg curls. That's all he did for legs, and that is what Vince recommends. Like Vince was never a fan of. I mean, Vince wasn't a fan of back squats because I'm telling you, like he said, it gives you a fat ass. A really good example of someone who has a fat ass is Sergio Olivia. He one time when Vince showed up to a competition. Vince didn't really like showing up to bodybuilding competitions after, well, I forgot what year it was, but he stopped showing up to them later on. But he went to go see Sergio Olivia. He said that Sergio Olivia is literally the most legendary physique he's ever had. He's had the most what's the word, most powerful genetics, because these genetics were pretty crazy. No other like him, not even his son. But anyways, he pointed out some flaws in Sergio Oliva's physique, telling you Vince is the man. Vince is the iron guru, the godfather of bodybuilding, not Joe Weider. It is Vince Stronda. He pointed out that Sergio Olivia had a fat ass, and I saw it and I was like, damn, this guy does have a fat ass, and probably did a lot of back squats. And he also pointed out that Sergio had some lagging shoulders, and I noticed that they weren't as developed as I thought they were in other pictures. Maybe it must have been the angle, but he pointed out that Sergio Olivia did have underdeveloped shoulders and too much of a fat ass. That is why he recommended not to do a lot of back squats, because it does give you a pretty fat ass. That will it does for me, and I'm pretty sure it works out. That happens to a lot of people too. It gives them too much of a fat ass. All right, so Steve Reeves didn't do any back squats. He did the hack squat and the was it hack squat? He did hack squats, good mornings, and the front squat. He was a big fan of the. As you can see, Steve Reeves has some very good legs. He has the upper quad very developed. He has the outer sweep of the quad pretty good. And as you can see, Vince never probably did back squats. He did a lot of, maybe, what do you call, hip abductor movements, maybe some front squats, some hack squats, a lot of sissy squats. He highly recommends the sissy squat. And Arnold wasn't a big fan of back squats because he was a pretty tall guy. I think he was like 6'2", maybe. I think he was like 6'2". He said the back squat didn't help him too much because he couldn't get that. What is it? That maybe that deep stretch or something like that. But Arnold did a lot of front squats. And then we also learned that. Oh well, if you were to Google Don Hallworth and you see a picture of him, he's doing the same pose as Steve Reeves. If you were to compare them together, their physiques are kind of alike. I'm actually gonna make a video on that later on. But look, you see a pattern. You're knowing that Steve Reeves did not do a lot of squats, and then you see that Don Harworth didn't do a lot of squats. Steve Reeves did front squats. Don Harworth did front squats. Don did hack squats. Steve Reeves did hack squats. I mean, you're starting to see a pattern here. Vince didn't do hack squats. I mean, Vince didn't do back squats. He did hack squats and front squats. You're starting to see a pattern here. Look, Vince wasn't a big fan of squats. I mean, he recommended it sometimes, but there's a certain way he wants you to do the front squat. He wants you to put your legs a little bit more forward in the Smith machine so you can focus more on the quads. He's not a fan of the regular back squat, and he's not a big fan of the heavy back squats because it makes your waist grow. Now, I read in tons of articles that, oh, so if you do heavy squats and dumbbell pullovers, that will make you grow. But if you do heavy squats and lots of dumbbell pullovers too often, you'll get a fat waist. And then we also got another reference from Instrana said doing back squats, heavy back squat too much will give you a fat waist. Now there's two credible sources right there. Two references. So now I'm starting to put it all together. This is how I put it all together. This is why I make bold statements like don't do back squats or do no heavy squats, because of these guys. Like, I'm taking advice from these guys and it's working. All right, cool. Oh yeah, so now let's move on to some exercises to focus on. Cool, we have some exercises to focus on. Number one, we have the hack squat, the front squat, and leg curls. This is Don Hallworth's go-to: hack squats, front squats, and leg curls. Now, these are all exercises that are recommended in Vince's books and courses and stuff like that. So this is why I picked these. The hack squat will actually, even Larry Scott, man. Larry Scott did. I don't think Larry Scott ever really did back squats. I never saw any pictures. I saw him doing front squats. I saw him doing hack squats and leg curls. I didn't really see him doing too much back squats. I see a lot of pictures of, well, Don Hallworth, Larry Scott, Steve Reeves. I seen a lot of pictures of them doing sissy squats, front squats. I've seen some leg curls. So yeah, some good references are I've gotten from Steve Reeves, Larry Scott, Don Hallworth, Vince Gironda. See, the list kind of goes on and on. This is why I'm making assumptions like this. This is why I'm making bold statements about don't do the back squat. And Another guy, you guys probably know him as Artemis Dolgan. He does not recommend. I mean, I don't know if he still does. I saw him doing squats one time, a couple times, but he back then he did not recommend doing the back squat because it gives you a fat waist and it makes gives you a big ass. And this is another source. I mean, this guy Artemis has a pretty classic physique. If you could not agree that he does have a classic physique, you get the small waist and the big upper chest and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean that's another source right there. And where do you think he got it from? I'm pretty sure he read it in some book, or I mean, he's got a very classic physique. And where do you think he got his sources from? Maybe we got him from the same source, but now that's another reference right there, and that gives me more credibility. Now you see a lot of the legs you will see on bodybuilding nowadays is that they have really small calves, and then this is even happening in classic physique too. I see a lot of guys with like big quads but little calves. Now that's what's fucking club classic physique. That is what's not. That is what's making it not classic physique. Having small calves and big quads. You're just looking like another bodybuilder. Now now a lot of the bodybuilders you see nowadays, they all have really big quads and like I said, small calves. So it's important to keep in mind that your calves must match your quads. You know, one line, like Arnold says. You know, you need to create one line. So yeah, right here, these are some really good exercises to focus on for your quads and your hamstrings. Like I said before, I think in my other video, I talked about how I read that article and that guy lined up the classic physique outline for me in a 1950 article. He said, don't do back squats because it gives you a fat waist and a fat ass. That's another source right there. I'm telling you, this is where I'm getting all my sources from. I read articles, very credible sources. He said do a lot of, was it the front? I can't remember if it was the front squat, but he did say do all types of leg curls, but he did not recommend the RDL because it makes your back too thick. Alright, cool. So I've literally put all the information that I could give you in this video about training. Now I'm gonna give the calf video its own video because it needs its own video. Like I have a lot to talk about when it comes to calves, how to train them, how to bring them up, and stuff like that. I had small calves, and through Vince, I wouldn't say through Vince's training. I mean, it's a little bit of Arnold's, Vince's, Don Harworth, Steve Reeves, Reg Park's training that helped me build some pretty good calves. And yeah, so yeah, this is it for the leg video. I put everything I could. Now, if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who wants a classic physique. Thank you so much for watching. This is Old School Dan checking out. Peace.